Hello, Gary. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself, please?
Yes, hi, I'm Gary Bragar, the HR Outsourcing Director for NelsonHall's Human Resources Outsourcing Program, and I've been with NelsonHall about 5.5 years.
You've been researching the recruitment process outsourcing market. Is it a growth opportunity?
Oh yes, absolutely. Recruitment process outsourcing, or RPO for short, is the highest growth area of all HR services, and it's growing globally at about 14% overall. The highest growth rates we're now seeing are in Asia Pacific, including Australia, where we've seen a number of recently signed RPO contracts, and that would be followed by Latin America and the US. EMEA remains a strong market for RPO as well. However, due to the economy, hiring volumes are down, and thus that impacts the revenue growth at those outsourcing providers, and so they're not quite as high as the others, but they're still growing fairly strong as well.
Okay, well that sounds promising. What factors are driving this growth?
Well, there's three top segments that are at the top of most clients' lists, and the first would be demand for better talent. Clients, despite high unemployment levels, are having difficulty finding the talent that they needed, and thus they're returning to outsourcing specialists to help them find that talent. The second would be scalability and flexibility. Throughout the year, clients have peaks and valleys of hiring needs, and an outsourcing provider can quickly scale up and down to meet those hiring needs throughout the year. The third would be cost control, cost avoidance, and cost reduction. And quite simply, client organizations can no longer afford to maintain an internal recruiting department, as well as they no longer wish to invest in new technologies throughout the year. And when I talk about technologies, that's primarily applicant tracking systems, and instead they prefer to pay on a per hire basis.
What benefits could a buy-side organisation expect if they were to adopt RPO?
We're seeing clients obtain several benefits when they outsource recruitment. The first is reduced time to hire. We're seeing clients obtain 20 to 50% reduction in their time to hire versus their internal capability. Second is we're seeing reduced cost. On average, clients obtain 30% cost savings when they outsource their recruitment. And of course, these first two examples, reduced time to hire and cost per hire, are just overall averages. The exact amount will depend on what your situation was prior to outsourcing. Third would be improved quality of hire, and that's really important because the top driver of why clients are outsourcing today is to obtain better talent. Fourth would be we're seeing increased candidate satisfaction and increased hiring manager satisfaction. Next is we're seeing reduced attrition. A couple of examples come to mind. Wilson HCG, an RPO specialist for a Fortune 500 client's Canadian division, was actually able to have reduced time to hire from 180 days to 30 days for a strategic sales position. Another outsourcing recruitment provider, The Right Thing, an ADP company, they were able to obtain a 17% reduction in attrition at Cigna. So those are some pretty impressive results that we're seeing.
What about the suppliers? Are they enhancing their capability to deliver RPO services?
Yes, absolutely. There's three top areas that we're seeing clients improve their capability, and the first is their service delivery capability. And two immediate areas come to mind that are pretty hot these days. The first is the use of video interviewing of candidates before they come on site for interviews. And a couple providers, examples would be Aon Hewitt and Pinstripe are doing that. We're also seeing the usage of mobile recruiting. It just makes it a lot easier for candidates to be able to find about jobs and submit on jobs via their mobile devices. And examples of providers doing that would be Connexa, Randstad SourceRight, Manpower Group Solutions, ADP is doing that, having just acquired The Right Thing. The next area we're seeing is specialist capability, and that's done through acquisitions. And the most immediate example, just a few weeks ago, IBM acquired Connexa. Connexa is an RPO specialist, and IBM had been providing RPO as part of its multi-process HR outsourcing offering, and they were providing RPO as a standalone, but they wanted to enter it into a bigger way, and Connexa has a big client base providing RPO globally, and as well, Connexa is a talent management specialist. The next area where we're seeing providers developing their capability is improving their global delivery capability. And we're seeing examples of that both via acquisitions and partnership. An acquisition example would be Randstad in the Netherlands acquired the SFN group in the United States, which included SourceRight solutions, and SourceRight was an RPO specialist. So that acquisition served two purposes. One, it was to really enhance Randstad's capability in the United States, as well as to acquire an RPO specialist. The next area that we're seeing is in terms of partnerships developing capability. There's two very successful examples. One is Allegis Group Services in the US and Talent2 in Australia. They formed the Allegis Talent2 Alliance, and they've already got 6 joint global clients. Pinstripe in the US and Okra House in the UK is another example where their partnership, they've already had 3 joint global clients. So vendors are constantly improving their service delivery capability, and we expect to continue to see them doing so.